You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice Playoff Edition. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Mike 1 over here. I'm your host, Connor Cupen. First of all, back on Breaking the Ice for the first episode of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's a pretty good playoff session so far. Let me tell you, we've had some great games. But let me introduce you to my guests. On Mike 1, we got AJ Chasan, the Penguins fan. He can finally stop talking about them. How does it feel and how's it going?
It feels great. Still feels weird that the Pens aren't in the playoffs, but shout out to my man Tanner, host of the Triple Play here on WMSC. The Blue Shirts!
The Blue Shirts! The Blue Shirts are indeed one of those teams in the playoffs. And on Mike 2, we got Devils fanatics Justin Brady, the man who interviewed Frank the Tank himself. How's it going?
It's going okay. You know what? The Devils are in the playoffs. That's all I asked for this year. And then, you know what? Whatever happens, it's a 7-game series. Whatever happens, I'm just happy they're in the playoffs.
It's a sprint. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to cover here because, the NHL playoffs have started. The playoff field was figured out last week. Florida made it in. The New York Islanders made it in. The Winnipeg Jets. And last but not least, the Seattle Kraken, all taking those final wildcard spots. So let's get right into those first few series. Let's get started. Now, boys, I'm going to be completely honest. First game, let's get right into it. Monday, April 17th, first game, Carolina Hurricanes, New York Islanders. Now tell me, how do you guys feel about the Islanders and Ilya Sorokin putting on a masterclass just to lose? Just to lose. You look at this game, first off, Carolina's power play. Sebastian Aho, nasty one-timer to get the scoring started. In the second period, Brent Burns just sent one flying towards the net. Stefan Nosen with a great tip. 2-0 real quick. But then 30 seconds later, Ryan Pulock scored, and the defense of New York and the goaltending, Sorokin did his best. He tried his absolute hardest, but the penalties and the power plays killed them. What are you guys' thoughts here, man? Carolina's up 1-0, 3 more to go. Sweep?
No way, because the Islanders have Ilya Sorokin, one of the best goalies
and
in the league.
Barzal is back.
Barzal was looking really good as well out there. So, that's a big addition for the Islanders, but special teams was the key in this game. Carolina, 2 for 4 on their power play. Islanders, 0 for 4 on their power play. That's the main difference.
My goodness, man. Come on.
It's the main difference in this game.
Come on now.
But, for me, none of these teams really showed anything that much impressive to me. I feel like whoever wins the series is just going to end up losing to the Devils or Rangers in the second round. But, I don't know.
Now.
Sorry, he'll be the
Interesting. So, hold
whoever
on. We'll
it
get
is.
to that. We'll get to
Whoever
that.
it is.
So you're saying this series is like the little brother series to the other one.
Oh, well, 100%. AJ could agree with that one when I say that. When he says that, right?
Right?
Okay.
of course. That's kind of what we expected of the series. Carolina was coming into this series shorthanded, not having arguably their best scorer and goal scorer, Andrei Svechnikov. The Islanders, Ilya Sorokin, borderline heart with our candidate if Connor McDavid wasn't a thing.
If Connor McDavid wasn't a thing.
If he wasn't a thing, if I were to vote for the heart, I would have voted for Ilya Sorokin. If the Islanders don't have him, they're in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes. But since they have him, they are in a wild card spot, playing against Carolina in the playoffs. Just like Justin hit it off, if the Islanders stay out of the box, they win the game. It's pretty simple.
Probably, yeah. I agree.
If they stay out of the box, they don't give Carolina chances on the power play, which, by the way, Carolina's power play was terrible this year. But in the playoffs...
Listen, they rolled through in that first game right there. You know what I'm saying?
It's a new game. The regular season doesn't matter. It's a sprint to 16 wins.
I'm going to give Antti Ranta credit, though, man. He
Yeah.
put on some crazy saves there.
Yeah.
Both goaltenders went crazy. It wasn't even really just it was more so just power plays for, that killed the Islanders there. Their PK didn't do the job to start the game. Mm-hmm. And then they couldn't, they had so many chances to score, though, to tie the game and everything like that. But
the penalties are all about, they're about physical play, goaltending, and capitalizing on opportunity.
Yeah.
Under the Islanders, when you're starting a series without home ice advantage, at the end of the day, getting 1 out of 2 is cool. if the Islanders can steal tonight's game, do we feel a little bit different about the series? Going back to
Absolutely,
you guys?
yeah.
Yeah.
feel
I
a
mean,
little bit
I
different.
mean,
We still probably favor the Canes, right?
it's a win for the Islanders if they go back home 1-1.
Yeah, we still probably favor the Canes in the series in that situation, but
Correct.
at least it becomes more of a dogfight.
Now,
Yeah, I
after
agree.
this game here, after game 1, Carolina's up 1-0. Now, what do we think this series ends in, and who wins this series? I'm still rocking with Canes. Now, I had Canes in 5, and I think, let me check. Actually, let's check our brackets real quick. Let's pull up the NHL brackets we all made here.
Which you'll see tomorrow on WMSC's Breaking the Ice Instagram account if y'all choose to.
Oh yeah, they're going up absolutely. Now, boys, I know I picked Carolina. I'm just struggling to remember how many games I picked this series to go. So I'm gonna look at my game zone real quick. You guys have yours pulled up real quick.
I got
So-
Canes in 6.
Yeah, okay. Does that change at all after tonight, or stays the same?
Stays the same.
I mean, not tonight. I meant the last game that happened. I had the Canes here in 5, and honestly, I'm still rolling with it. They look good. I think the Islanders will be able to steal one, but if they can't score, it's going to be kind of rough.
Well, that's the problem. Like, whenever we've been on here, we talk about the Islanders is that they can't score goals on a consistent basis. Like, they have to
Yeah.
rely on their defense and goaltending. And look, their defense and goaltending was pretty
It's
good.
good. It's the heart of their team, yeah, for sure.
But if you can't score goals, you're not gonna win playoff games. It's that simple. You might steal a game, but
AJ, what do you have? What did you have this series in on the bracket?
I had the series in the bracket. I actually had the Islanders win this in 7.
What does this change now for you, or does it stay?
At the end of the day, if the Islanders stay out of the box, they win the game. They were the better 5-on-5 team. That's not to be argued. It makes me a little bit more nervous about the Islanders knowing how disciplined or just undisciplined that they played in game 1. If they can get back to just playing Islanders brand hockey with a sort of shoving around the Hurricanes, with a collecting loose pucks, battling, and capitalizing on opportunity, while also Ilya Sorokin being the absolute demigod that he is, I still feel okay about that prediction. But if the Islanders were to lose tonight, no shot.
No shot.
Tonight's an absolute must-win game for the Islanders.
I hear what you're saying. All right, game 2, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Now, why won't you do it? There we go. So, game 2 of the playoffs. From what I can recall, on Monday we had the Florida Panthers take on the Boston Bruins out in the East, and let me. All right, I'll break this one down for you guys. So, first goal of this game. Boston gets a nice little power play, right? And Alex Lyon makes a save on the power play. Defense fails to clear. Bertuzzi ends up right where the puck is, and he just hits Pasternak for this wide open net. It wasn't even possible to defend there. The next goal of the game was disappointing, to say the least. Brad Marchand just takes this shot that Lyon makes a save on 9 out of 10 times. It just went off his glove and in the net. It was just a bad save attempt. I'm sure he'd make that save another chance. But Kachuk scored a few minutes later. But after that, DeBrusk scored very late in the period. They went up 3-1. The Florida offense just could not score. That's the same story as last year's playoffs. They're the best offense in the league, and they couldn't score come playoff time. They did play well against Washington, but then second round against Tampa, they got shut out. And they only scored one goal in game 1 there. Third period, Boston scored, and it was taken back by goalie interference. There was 2 times where Boston's goals were challenged. Second one actually was overturned, and goalie interference was the call. Florida's offense just couldn't get it going, though. So now I want you guys. We got Boston up 1-0 here. They're the juggernaut team. What are your thoughts here?
Nobody's beating Boston. And look, I think Florida, they came in really hot into the playoffs.
Yeah, they did.
Matthew
And
Tkachuk,
they lost their last 2 games to end the season, though, but you're right.
he's one of the best players in this league. I think he's a top 5 player right now, and he really has carried this team.
Oh, yeah, the
also,
Kachuk praise, give me more of that.
Also, credit to Alex Lyons. Is that how you
Dude,
pronounce it?
Alex
He's
Lyon,
been
bro. The
awesome.
Lion King is the reason they're in the playoffs. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it. No way. We would have had Buffalo in the playoffs or some other team, Pittsburgh in the playoffs, but Alex Lyon willed this team because Spencer Knight's with the player assistance program right now. Sergei Bobrovsky was out with an illness. So he was just out there doing his thing, and he did it good. It wasn't even like it was incredible.
Yeah, but I mean, Boston, they've been having like
Nah,
a sickness going
insane.
around their locker room right now.
Bergeron's out tonight.
He's out again tonight.
He's out tonight.
So
yeah.
he's been out 2 games now because he's sick. Hopefully he's okay. But I mean, they were out their leader game 1, and they look totally fine out there. They have a complete 4 lines. Defensively, they're amazing, and they have the best goalie tandem in the league.
Yeah, Linus Ullmark,
Nobody's
31
beating them.
saves in game 1. Bertuzzi had 2 assists, so good acquisition there. They're already getting put to use. And Dmitry Orlov had an assist. They got their new guys making plays, and it was just like watching those first 2 goals. They totally could have been avoided. So that's what I'm like. The second one is a save any other time. It was just a really bad play from the goaltender. The first goal, if defense could get a stick on the puck and clear, like that doesn't happen. And there was a ton of that scored some very interesting goals in this game. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on this series? How many games is it going?
I'd say 5, honestly.
Bruins in 5.
I think
my
the
pick.
Panthers, they could steal one.
But just one, yeah.
Yeah, they have too much. They have too much talent in their top 6, what's up in their top pair on their decor to not take a game from what's up for Boston. But at the end of the day, it's just it's just the unluck of the draw. Like
The unluck of the draw.
yeah, the Panthers, they ended up having to play the deepest.
Listen,
team
man,
in the
all
league
they
for
had to
quite some
do
time.
was if they didn't want to play in this game, all they had to do was beat Carolina or beat Toronto, and they failed to do both of those. So,
They ended up having to run into the greatest regular season team ever.
in the history of the National Hockey League, yeah.
Running into a team with 4 lines that they can run out there at any time and be fine against any team's top line.
So-
3 defensive pairings that they can run out against any team's defensive with a number 1 D pair and be fine. 2 goalies that could legitimately start in the playoffs and it not matter. It's unfortunate. Like, you asked me earlier with the article I wrote today, what do the Panthers have to do to beat the other Bruins? Honestly, just play their game, but is that going to be enough? No. I was joking in the opening thing, like, they got to hire they got to watch the movie Miracle in their morning skate, and then hire Kurt Russell and pay that the ownership's going to be willing to divvy up enough money to bring him down on a part-time role. Like, that's really the only shot that Florida has. And it stinks because obviously you want competitive series, but
They're going to do it. They're going to make it competitive. They're going to
I don't
figure
think
it out.
so.
Listen, Sam Bennett is back, and that's the difference maker right there. That's the difference right there.
I hope so for your sake. It'd be
All right.
funny to see Boston lose in the first.
Oh, it'd be
Yeah,
funny
it would
and
be.
amazing. Listen, there was a ton of in this first round. Only 2 of the higher seeded teams won their games, and we just covered them: Carolina and Boston. So let's keep moving on now to the best game of the playoffs so far. Kings Oilers game 1, bro. Best game of the playoffs in the first round, and let's straight up. Let's start. Leon Draisaitl, rocket of a goal that first one. And then Evan Bouchard. Yo, I did not know defensemen could shoot like that sometimes, bro. That was a snipe.
He's gonna
that
be
was
he's gonna be a 70-point D man next year.
Dude, that was okay.
I
To
like
be
that
fair,
take.
it was on a
gonna be
5-on-3.
good.
It was a 5-on-3. I think I'm pretty sure it was either power play or 5-on-3 advantage. So like, he had time to set that up, but that was a snipe.
Yeah,
I mean,
power
it doesn't
play.
matter. Corpusalo saw the puck the entire way.
Yeah,
There was nobody in
You
his
you
lane.
should have seen the speed on that though. That was an incredible shot there.
He saw the puck the whole way. so that
Second
could've been an easy
period,
glove.
Listen, Corpusalo still played his tail off in this game, and he allowed 3 goals and still did it because, like, 37 saves. And on the other side, Stuart Skinner didn't have a bad game, but, I mean, in the third period, he melted down. And we'll get right into that. Second period score, no goals, just a ton of saves, back and forth defense. And then Adrian Kempe finally scores right off the rip. As soon as the period started, 52 seconds in, Kings get their first goal. And he's like, all right, let's keep it going. And then Draisaitl scored the weirdest goal. It was like he was the only one moving on the entire ice. Like, so Evander Kane takes this shot, and it's just kind of like, I don't even know, Kane might have given him the pass, but it's just a bunch of players standing around the puck, and Kane tips it out. Draisaitl's the only one moving. He gets this shot, goes between like 4 guys, and he hits it. And they up 3-1 now with just half this period to go. So then 3 minutes later, Kempe gets another shot to go, and then it's at the very end. They get a power play for the rest of the third. And on top of that, they pull Corpusalo. So now they're on 6-on-4. 6-on-4 to try to tie the game, and it's in Edmonton. So, all the crowd's going crazy. They finally get the puck in between. There's like 17 seconds left, and it's Anze Kopitar right in front of the net. Puts it home, and, just the Edmonton crowd are just dead quiet. They're just dead quiet with 17 seconds left. Stuart Skinner allows that goal, and we go into overtime. And then in overtime, ton of great play, and 9 minutes into the game, Alex Lafalo scores. Kings take game 1 in the rematch of last year's first round. What do you guys think about this game? I thought it was the best game in the first round. Or if not the best game, it was either that game or the Minnesota-Dallas game.
I think it was, too, the best game. And this shows that the Kings cannot be taken for granted. These teams played each other last year, and it went to 7 games, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was 7 or 6.
It was 7.
7? Yeah, it was a great series.
And this series went all the way. Did it? I don't know if it ended in overtime. I think that was the Flames Stars series last year.
It was.
But I think this series might go 7 games. I wouldn't be surprised. I thought the Oilers were really going to come in here and win game 1, and it looked like they were. And then obviously Kopitar had that gift right in that crease, just waiting for him
At the very end of regulation?
Yeah, at the very
Dude.
what a gift.
Stuart Skinner, come on now.
But the thing that stands out most to me in this game is look who was held off the score sheet and had a -2.
Connor.
Statistically had the worst night out of every player on the Oilers. Connor McDavid. So
wild.
And to that point, you guys are going to think I'm crazy for this. I actually feel better about Edmonton in this series after last night than I did before the game.
Because they were able to hold their own and they barely
Edmonton
17 seconds away
gifted-
from a win.
They gifted the Kings that win.
Yeah.
They
stole it.
They handed that on a silver platter. They were the better team the entire game. The best player in the world was the worst skater on the Oilers, and it took the Kings a gift with 17 seconds left on the clock and an overtime goal after one got called back on the Oilers to win the game.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, I don't think the Kings win another game in this series.
I wouldn't say that.
I think Connor McDavid
the Kings have been
and
a
Leon
good team.
after giving away game 1 and now all the pressure being on the Oilers now, because now the Kings did their job in Edmonton. They already took one. They have home ice the rest of the way. Edmonton, they need to win this game because if they go down 2-0 going to LA, it's a real chance that Edmonton could get upset in the first round. So, I think they're going to step it up. They're going to come out. They're going to show out. They're going to blitz with the Kings tonight. Don't be shocked if you see Corpusalo get pulled out of this game.
Ooh.
I know this is wild.
All right.
He's coming with the heat.
But don't be shocked if Edmonton puts up a touchdown tonight, and they're going to win. They're going to win every single game from here on out in this series.
Oh my God!
Book it.
Wow.
Listen, all right, he's got the hot takes here. It's AJ chasing the heat. Now, let me tell you something.
That's no disrespect to the Kings, though. They earned their way here. They're a solid team, but they poked the bear. Sorry.
Listen,
don't do that.
I had Edmonton in 6 on the bracket challenge. Does this change things for me? No. I still think the Oilers can get it done in 6. How about you guys? What did you have versus what are your current thoughts?
I had Oilers in 6, and I stand by that.
All right, AJ.
I had Oilers in 5, and I stand by that.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, you can't. You just can't.
I mean, did you expect anything else?
Can't lose another one. I mean, you just backed your claim up there. So Oilers playing the night. I wish we had this show during the games, man. I'm gonna try to get that for the summer during the games. Incredible. So, last game of the first day, Minnesota versus Dallas. Incredible showdown. Let's get into it. While 2 of the green teams going against each other, Kirill the Thrill scores first goal on a power play, literally off a tip, 48 seconds into the game. So Minnesota got off on the right start, and then second period we had 3 goals, 2 power play goals by the Stars. Rube Hintz, Jason Robertson, so they're up, and then Sam Steele scores for the Wild. And let me tell you, this game had some of the best goaltending saves you'll see. Jake Ottinger and then Philip Gustafsson, incredible. Incredible, both of them. Gustafsson had 51 saves. So they better have won the game with 51 saves. I feel bad for Jake Ottinger, though. 45 saves. He has saved over 100 shots in his last 2 playoff games, and they've
Wow.
lost them both.
Wow. That's a great stat.
That's a great stat, right? You feel bad for the guy. Like, I just wish we could help him. Wish we need to go out there, because breaking the street would absolutely help them. We'll get into that. We'll talk about last week's. Did we talk about? We did have a game last week, correct?
Yes.
We didn't get to talk about it though, because
Yeah,
it was
we'll
that.
talk about it
Oh
later.
yeah, that's the finisher for this episode. We'll get into the destruction that we laid the hurt on them out there. But meanwhile, this game double overtime. So these players were gassed. They'd played 80 minutes of hockey, and then on top of that, another 12. So they played 92 minutes of hockey. No, even more than that. No, that's right. 92 minutes.
Yeah.
92 minutes of hockey. But translating that to real time, that was probably, 4 hours?
Yeah.
Something like that. So, what are your thoughts on this game, guys? In overtime, Ryan Hartman, game winner for Minnesota. Sam Steele, multi-point night. What are our thoughts? What are our thoughts here?
When you're an underdog in this series, 2 words are your best friend. Puck luck.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what the Wild got in overtime. With the number 55 on the Stars, pokes a puck out to the half wall trying to get it with that down deep.
Number 55 on the Dallas Stars
I would think
is indeed Thomas Harley,
Thomas
defenseman.
Harley, yep. Pokes a puck to the half wall, trying to get it to Robertson to dump the puck deep. To get a change. Puck goes through 4 Stars. Ryan Hartman right in the slot, right where you dream of as a little kid to score an overtime goal in the playoffs. That happens. They scored a goal up 1-0. The bigger story in this, though, rather than that, is Joe Pavelski. Him being out with a concussion. That is a huge loss for the Stars. That's their net presence on their top line. That's their net presence on their power play. It's now gone. That's arguably an irreplaceable thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, to be fair, we can lend an assist. Throw Tanner Price out there.
I mean, yeah, of course. But Tanner Price is on the Stars. I mean, we could ship him down there.
How much can we trade Tanner for right now? Let's get this. Let's talk.
Give us a milli.
Just one? How many
We-
picks?
We could.
At least 2 first rounders.
2 first for
Fair enough. But neither here nor there. That's gonna hurt Dallas in this series. And this, like I said with Edmonton, like I said with the Islanders, it's a must-win game for the Dallas Stars.
Interesting. Must-win game for the Dallas
think about it this
Stars.
way.
I disagree.
Think about it this way: if Minnesota goes up 2-0 back to Minnesota, right, the hockey state, that barn is one of the loudest places, most intimidating places to play in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Gustafsson would be hot in this scenario. Their crowd would be in a frenzy. They would be what they call just rolling, and they'd be, not to pun, an avalanche. Right? In that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be hard to stop.
You know what? I'm not worried because
I'm not saying that Dallas is going to lose the series at that point, but
Let's
if
see
they
what
go
I
down
have.
2-0, especially in that scenario, it's going to be an uphill battle.
Well, look, I still stick by having the Wild win in 7 games. But I mean, if the Wild win tonight, I don't think it's over because the Stars have Jake Ottinger, who's probably been the second best goalie in the NHL this season, and he was amazing in this game as well. My question is, will Philip Gustafsson be able to?
Listen,
play
he was
like
good
this?
too, but
Like he had a good season, but
Yeah.
like, do we know if he could like play how he did in Game 1 on a consistent basis? I don't know.
I have Dallas in 7 in this series, and I'm sticking to it, boys.
It's really, I feel like it's a coin flip. Whoever wins the series, because I feel like it really could go any way. Like 7 games, right? You have 7 games, AJ?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, that shows anybody can win the series. I could see this coming all the way to overtime in Game 7. I don't know.
But I have it in 7 with the expectation that Dallas is arguably their most important player on their power play unit would be available for 7 games.
Joe
do we know how?
Pavelski.
Do we know how long he's gonna be out?
He's confirmed right now that he's in concussion protocol and confirmed to be out for game 2.
So he's probably going to be out for game 3 as well. Maybe game 4 he comes back.
Maybe.
Oof, I don't know.
All right, gang. Moving on here. I believe we finished all the games from day 1 of the playoffs. Carolina up 1-0, Boston up 1-0. Minnesota and LA also sharing the same fate. Both the Central 3 and the Pacific 3s get their wins. Now on to Tuesday, where every single lower-seeded team won their games. Game 1. The game where we don't got no Rangers fans here to take care of the business.
Hey, hey, hey.
So, got no Rangers fans here. However, I was watching the game
that
at
one
parts,
5
and
times.
I couldn't help but hear the crowd cheer when Rangers goals did occur. You know what I'm
I saw
saying?
more blue on the
Whoa.
team.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I saw more blue
Yeah, we got
on the
chill.
TV
We got
than I
chill.
did
We
red.
got chill. All right. First off,
Let's just, we don't even need to recap the game. 5-1 Rangers win. Simple as that.
Devils got blitzed.
And now, give us your analysis that you got.
All right. First off, it was about because I was at the game actually. It was about 75-25. So look, here's the thing: the Rangers, their fans travel well, and look, if
Well, they
if
don't got to travel
Well,
far.
AJ, I'm gonna ask you this. Exactly. If you're a Rangers fan and you live in New Jersey or New York and you have to choose between spending $200 to see your team play at the Prudential Center or $500 to play at Madison Square Garden and you want to go see a playoff game, who are you choosing?
I mean, of course you're choosing the Prudential
All right,
Center.
that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm
Which
saying.
is
Look, Rangers fans
embarrassing.
travel well. Look, that's not embarrassing. What do you expect? Rangers fans are everywhere. I don't know. There's
Buy up your own tickets.
we know.
Stop in the playoffs since what? 2017, 2018?
Look, and the place was loud. Devils fans were loud the whole, not the whole game, at least the first 2 periods, but then
the first 10 minutes of the game.
first 2 periods, but then the life got sucked out of the air after Rangers went up 3-0. Pretty simple. Rangers definitely outplayed the Devils, no doubt in this one. It didn't look like the Devils were ready at all going into this one. They had an early power play in the first minute, and then they had another power play a few minutes later, and then just fell apart from there. I want to say special teams really set the tone in this game, because if you look at it like this, Devils had 4 power plays and they had, I believe, 1 shot in those 4 power plays. Rangers went 2 for 4.
That's rough, man. That's rough.
It's bad. And Rangers went 2 for 4 in their power play. Their power play was amazing. Rangers defensively, wow. We didn't see that at all in the regular season when these two teams played. When the Devils and Rangers played. Rangers defensively were amazing. They blocked 23 shots in this game. It felt like 50. It was just amazing.
Felt like 50.
You know, it really did. They clogged up the middle of the ice so well, forcing the Devils to go outside in their zone entries every time. It was a tough game. And look, Shesterkin was good, but he really wasn't tested that much by our team. We had maybe 3 prime chances, and one of them they capitalized on because of the penalty shot, which was the most depressing goal I've ever witnessed in my life. But look, Rangers definitely outplayed. And then Devils fans are gonna be like, "Oh, we're panicking now." But the Devils have been in so many situations this year where fans are doubting them because they had a bad stretch or a really bad game. But then the next time they come out, they prove everybody wrong. So I'm not gonna come out here and say I'm worried. Look, playoff experience showed in this one. Rangers came in much more prepared. They showed that they had much more playoff experience than us, and we'll see what happens. But I'm confident in game 2. I think the Devils will get that one, and will come out firing in that game.
So I did have Devils in 7 on my bracket. I'm sticking to it
I love it.
because in the regular season they seem to beat them when the games occur. You know, they beat them 3 times in the regular season. And, now they're going to get their chance to prove, yes, they're going to lose a game here and there, but why not? Why not?
It's a 7-game series.
It's a 7-game series. First to 4 wins. It's a little bit of a nice little sprint.
And this team had to learn the hard way. The Rangers just came out and were just amazing all night long. So, look, this team learned. Obviously, 10 players going into this game for the Devils. That's their first ever playoff game. So, they learned, and hopefully they use that as a learning experience and come out tomorrow at the Rock and come out firing, because they really need to.
I mean, for everything you said is why I had the Rangers in 5. At the end of the day,
that's fair.
playoff experience matters. One of these teams has been there, done that. At least been there, done that, has won playoff series. That Rangers with this squad has been to a cup, but one of these teams hasn't been. One of these teams with a core hasn't been to the playoffs yet, and I've been chanting this on the show for I feel a month. Young cores, their first time in the playoffs, get smashed. They do it. It's not a bad thing. It happens all the time. The Devils next year, depending on what their odds are in Vegas, I might throw X amount of dollars on them to actually win the Stanley Cup. That's how good I feel about the Devils.
2024, call it.
That's one of the nicest things I will ever say about that franchise. But
this paints him so much.
But for this series, it's not close. Like, one team came in with a game plan. One team looked lost. One team executed it. One team looked lost, and one team capitalized on opportunity. All of those were the Rangers.
I 100% agree with what he said.
And the Devils, this is what I would concern me as a Devils fan more than anything, is this just shows that having just a speed rush offense is not going to win you playoff games.
The Devils' transition game is probably one of the best in the leagues.
But it's not.
But the Rangers were able to shut it down very well. It frustrated me a lot last night because the Devils had some good opportunities and then they pass it up. They try to make the quote unquote perfect pass, and it's like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like everybody in my section was like, shoot the puck, shoot the puck.
That's exactly what I was saying. And once you guys got the puck in the O-zone, and you guys were sliding around you guys were trying to find the perfect shot. You guys couldn't get anything going, and it eventually felt
LA was doing that too, but they got their goals. Like they had one power play, and Kempe ended up taking this shot, like a sharp angle shot from like almost like the goal line. That was kind of like
as the game kept going, it felt like you guys you felt that you were down 2-0, 3-0, and were just lost and just throwing pucks on net.
Yeah, I mean
you're throwing pucks into the Rangers blocked 23 shots. You guys were throwing pucks into Rangers' bodies.
Yeah, look, the Rangers played it perfectly on defense. It's like I can't even say oh, that's the Devils' fault. Rangers came in with a much better game plan.
I don't think every game's going to be a blowout, but
look, game 2 is going to be close. I can see it going to overtime.
Game 2 is going to say a lot about the rest of how the series is going to go.
Let's say Rangers win game 2. I'm still not hitting the panic button yet because I know this Devils team and how they're the best road team in the league this season. So I'm confident they could take 2 games in the Garden.
Playing on the road in the regular season is different than playing on the road in the playoffs when you've never been.
But the Garden, regardless, throughout the regular season is a crazy atmosphere. Devils, Rangers, very close to the playoffs.
Of course.
But so I have confidence in this team to win 2 games in the Garden.
In terms of an atmosphere, but it's not to when you actually have playoffs on the line. It's not when you're 40, 25, and 8 and just making up a record rather than down 2-0 in the first round of the playoffs. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. And for your first time there, people don't realize how much it's different.
It is.
Until they get there. And I don't mean to be really, really coming at the Devils today. That's not what I'm here for, right? But for all those reasons it's why I have the Rangers winning the series.
That's fair. Look, Devils have to come out firing game 2. It'll be interesting.
They need the first goal.
All right, that's I lost my point, and then you reminded me of it.
They need the
Devils can't fall behind in this game. They need to keep the crowd in the game, because the Devils fans, we had nothing to cheer about yesterday. There was really nothing significantly not big chances and then we have a little Rangers suck chant that we do. We can't even do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Can we please get Timo Meier on the first line?
I don't know. I mean, they have the Dawson Mercer, Tatar, Nico Hischier line. The first line, it's been their best line all season. I would say swap Halak and Timo Meier. But look, I wouldn't change the lines because the thing is, what the Devils have done so much this season is they change the lines constantly. And at this point, they just have to stick with it and make these guys have chemistry with one another. Changing things on a constant basis, I don't think is going to work and make you go far in the playoffs.
And why I would disagree is because it's a different speed of the game. Right? So, lines can work throughout the regular season, right? They can buzz, they can, create chances. But once you get to playoff speed and you're focusing in on matchups rather than carrying a team throughout an 82-game season, that's where your mindset sort of has to change a little bit, right? Timo Meier's a 40-goal scorer, right?
Yep.
He's the guy that Devils fans, as soon as they acquired him, this is the guy that's going to bring us over the top, right?
That's the man right there.
He can't be playing on the third line.
He's on the third line.
He can't be playing on the third line. But listen, the Devils are deep, right?
He's not a bottom six guy though.
No,
yeah,
he's not.
he's not a bottom six player.
He's not. I would keep Andre Palat on the second line. I would.
You can't change Mercer or Hughes.
No, you can't.
So it's tough.
I would slide Tatar down. The reason that
No.
I would.
When you don't understand, Tatar I think has been one of the Devils' best players this season. He's a plus 40. That's the second best in the NHL.
I mean, he's also
The guy's the most
playing.
responsible, smart player on our team, and he can contribute offensively. He's a veteran on this team. I think he's one of the best players on this team, and I really hope they keep him this offseason. So I don't think you could change that. And
He's not a better player than Timo Meier. You need
But-
your best on best. When there's a Banajad, Kreider, Kane line out there, you need,
Well,
you need Nico Mercer.
well, Tatar and
Meier.
Timo are you
need
could
them
say
out there.
offensively Timo's better, but like Tatar, an overall player, we're talking about defensively as well. You could say Tatar might be the better player. I don't know.
But that's where you throw Tatar on the third line, and whenever you need a defensive shift, that's where you throw that that's where you throw that Bolquist Hollow with the Tatar line out there.
It's a good one. I don't know.
That's where you throw that out there.
it's a
and you
tough
can shut-
call.
and then you could shut teams down.
If I say this, if we're down 2-0, I could see them changing it up. But for now, I think roll with your same lines going into
not
game 2, and we'll see what happens.
Book it at some point in game 2 with Timo Meier will be on the first or second.
Wait, let me just say this. Timo Meier in that game had, let's see, why can I not find Timo Meier on here? He played 16 minutes and 45 seconds of ice time. So the thing is with the Devils, like their third line is basically like a second line. They play them all. That's what I'm gonna say.
No, I understand that. The
I
Panthers
understand
were
that too,
exactly that way last year. That third line,
But
it
it
wasn't
matters
like
who
a
you're
top
playing
6 and a bottom 6.
What?
It's sort of like a top 9 and a bottom 3.
Like we were just talking about Andre Palat, Timo Meier had more ice time than Andre Palat.
Exactly, but it matters who you're playing at ice time with.
I mean, if Palat's playing with two of the best, one of the best players in the league, and Hughes, and one of the best upcoming players in
Exactly,
Mercer.
but
So
Palat played less than Timo.
here's the thing.
Would you want that? Would you not want
I know Connor wants to move on here.
Go right
Would you
ahead,
not
bro.
want
Go
Timo
right ahead.
minutes
But here's the thing,
with
with Palat,
George, with Jack, and with him?
I think they want Palat on their top 6 mainly because we know what Palat can do in the playoffs.
I just said
he's.
don't move
Oh,
Palat
did you say that?
No, I was
Oh,
campaigning for Meier.
well,
versus
I was
Tatar.
talking about that. I just want to say that. But I mean, Palat, 21 points in 23 games last year in the playoffs. One of the biggest reasons, at least
No, he needs to
Tampa
stay
Bay.
in the top 6.
He does, and I think he's a player that the Devils really need to rely on. He had a big chance right in front of the net, and Igor literally robbed him in that third period. Look, it was frustrating. The Devils to Prudential Center, our us fans, bro, we were just waiting to erupt, bro. Like in that first period, like everybody was just on the edge of the seat. Everybody was
their game, too.
standing, and it just was just like Rangers did their job. They got 2 goals early and just sucked the life out of the building. That's what a away team.
And on top of that,
it's amazing.
John
They're gonna be their game,
Giftopoulos got sprayed by the NJ Devils
Good.
with silly string.
Good,
Funny.
good.
You gonna be their game 2?
We'll see how prices are.
Dude, where is
Gotta
it coming
gotta-
from?
gotta-
Where do you guys? All right, where's this money coming from?
Shout out DoorDash.
Shout out DoorDash.
Shout out my job.
Man, he's got a GoFundMe. Support Devils Fanatics
Yeah,
playoff
that-
ticket
that-
fund.
That's what I should do. Post on my story. I'll probably get some money for that as well.
Anyways.
I wouldn't be saying that on live airwaves, by the way.
Yeah, never mind that.
Hopefully you don't have any of your followers listening. to this
Yeah,
right
I
now.
know.
Oh, Devils Fanatics just lost 17 followers in 10
Boo
seconds.
this man! Boo him!
All right, ready?
Boo
What?
this man!
All right,
Not the first time I got booed.
All right, Leafs
that's
talk.
true. You could have gotten booed off the ice. Leafs talk, boys. Let's get it. Touchdown, field goal.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yes.
Talking about another team getting booed. The Leafs got booed after the first period.
Tampa Bay Lightning put up a touchdown, make the extra point against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who scored a field goal of their own. But it's not enough. We're playing football here, guys. Football on ice. But let's get into this game for real. 3-0 at the end of the first period. This Lightning team is back. All right? I have them winning in this first round. Do you guys have anything different?
I have them going to the cup.
Oh. So you went back
Absolutely.
on your take that Toronto's making it out the first round. You originally had said Toronto would be
Yeah.
this would be the year they make it out the first round. Not anymore.
Nope. Nope.
I'm not gonna lie.
Nope. Before the games all started, my cup final was Dallas over Toronto. Before the game started, I'm like, yeah, that's not happening.
And so this series is whoever wins this series is going to the Cup.
Pretty much.
That's-
Wow. Not Boston?
Huh?
All right, not Boston?
The thing with Boston, right, is they have so many good players, right? They're such a great team. I wonder what's going to happen if let's say Toronto, they finally slay that dragon, right?
They can't stop. Yeah, they can just keep going. Keep going.
They finally slay the dragon
I
in the first
understand that.
round. I think that momentum can take a team like that. That's something a team like this core, could use to make a run all the way to the Cup.
That's what Washington did in 2018 when they finally took down the
finally-
Penguins and
yep.
then went all the way. They took down Tampa in like 5 games, dominant fashion, then dominated Vegas in 5 games. So,
And then
yeah,
versus,
it's a
and
good
then
point.
versus Tampa, you can't bet up with that against the team who's been in the last 3 Cups in the East.
I will say this. All right, so I had Toronto winning in 7 games, and I'm going to change my take. I'm taking Tampa in 7 games now. I'm going to change it.
Oh, so you had Toronto in 7 on there, but now you're going Tampa in
Look,
7?
I don't like Toronto, but I feel bad for their fans. Like, you have to feel bad just a little bit.
I do feel bad for the
just a
fans.
little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you know how frustrating that is? You make it to the first round every year, and your team just disappoints.
Did you see Sportsnet as they were coming into the third period? I think like they were showing all like the Maple Leafs fans like throughout the arena, and they were all pissed.
They have the right to, though. They have the right to. It's just the same story every year, and you knew. Toronto knew they were playing Tampa since like January 3rd.
yeah, something like that. It's
And
been
they
a while.
came into game 1 playing like that. Like, are you kidding me? This does not look like a team that is going. Look, and I know it's game 1, anything could happen,
Yeah.
but that does not look like a team who wants to get past the first round. They want their fans to. It doesn't look like a team that wants their fans to finally be happy for once.
Oh, and by the way, I have an active rooting with an interest against the Toronto Maple Leafs for one thing.
What's the one thing?
What is it?
Kyle Dubas will go to the team that we won't speak about.
To the team that we won't speak about. He's scared of talking about them for the rest of the year, guys.
Nope.
He doesn't want to talk about them. He doesn't even want to acknowledge that they're a team.
Nope.
Even though they just fired their GM and they fired a bunch of other guys.
Leafs talk.
Leafs talk. All right. I have Tampa Bay in 7 in this series, just like last year. And listen, there's certain things about sports. And it's just like tradition every year that Tampa makes it far and Toronto doesn't. So like, and somehow no matter what happens, these things seem to continue to exist.
You know what's
You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? I saw someone say Canada's Stanley Cup is Toronto losing in the first round every year.
Listen, man, that deserves a little let's see what I can do. A little bit of a
There you go.
but yeah, I think to score a touchdown in game 1 of the playoffs,
That's great.
that's a good team. That's a good team.
Statement.
Yeah. One thing. Would it shock you guys that at some point in this offseason, we start to see this question, what's it going to be thrown around? With 1 year left on his contract, what would it take to get Austin Matthews in a trade?
A lot.
Toronto goes down the
A
first
lot.
round?
We need
their GM in that stance would be brought back. Their head coach would be fired as well.
Well,
They
you
would be
take
bringing in new management. You would have Austin Matthews hasn't shown any sort of commitment that he was signed there past this year.
he's gonna get traded to Arizona.
Like, what?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well,
Okay, let's look at it this way. One thing. If Tanner Janot nets out 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I can only imagine what Austin Matthews would net.
You're
Only
really
a-
hung up with that, and also Mikhail Granlund with fetched a 2nd round pick.
So like Austin Matthews would have to net like 2 or 3 first-round picks
Whoa, the good
and
trade.
players, or like a first in players. Yeah, it's gonna have to be like to get Austin Matthews in a trade. You're gonna need like to retain salary. You're gonna need like a first and established players.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good trade.
Who
said that now?
Who
Huh?
said that? I don't know. Who said that?
Remember that. I'll never forget that from the deadline.
What the Grenwyn trade? When I said it was a good trade.
my god, it was a great move. All the way.
I thought we weren't talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh,
He always has
wait
to
a
find a way to bring up the Penguins, or he can't.
We're
can't.
not talking about it.
Buddy,
We're talking about Granlund.
I'm just checking the schedule. I don't see the Penguins on there. All right. No more Penguins talk until the summer, AJ.
I mean, after this week, I'm not gonna see the Devils on the schedule.
Oh, look, it's all right. At least we're
What
in
a
it.
statement!
Look, I can get the brooms out like on April 4th when the Devils swept the Penguins in the
Oh my
season
God, they
series.
swept the Penguins in the regular season.
Look,
Oh my God, it's crazy.
AJ's gonna act like he's like not mad, but you could tell he was so mad because he placed 2 bets, not one, but 2 bets, and they failed him two
So what
times.
happened to Leafs talk?
All right, Leafs talk.
Listen,
Look,
I'm going to get back to one thing here. Next week, okay, so not even next week, in 2 weeks from now, since we have Rangers Devils, only one side of our show is going to be happy. The other side won't be. Most likely my team's getting dogged right now. So we might just be left with Tanner being our lone playoff representation for the rest of the way to go. Or if things turn out, you guys can take care of business.
And then we all actively root for Tanner's demise.
We all actively root against the Rangers. Everyone just wants to see her teams fall. Because, listen, that's honestly the truth, though. If one of our teams wins a cup, then the show is over. Like, no one will ever be able to say anything ever again. So, Tampa wins this game 1. What's this series going to? How many games? I got Tampa in 7 still.
Tampa in 7.
Who said 6?
I did.
Oh, I mean, honestly, we'll see. My opinion might change next week. We're going to redo this next week when the series are well into it, or it could be over by then. Who knows? Next game here, let's get into some of the blowouts. Winnipeg Jets destroy the Vegas Golden Knights 5-1. Kyle Connor with a goal, Pierre-Luc Dubois with a goal. William Karlsson scores to get Vegas' lone goal, and then they just completely fall apart in the last period. In the third period, Blake Wheeler scored, and then 2 empty netters. So, gang. One empty netter, and then a power play goal. So, my mistake. But look at Winnipeg. Look at the Winnipeg Jets. And you want to know something great? I've never seen a defense play as good as this one. The Vegas Golden Knights only got off 17 shots on goal in this game. I've never seen that. That's ridiculous. They only got 2 shots off in the third period, by the entire period, 2 shots. 8 shots in the first, 7 shots in the second. So to Winnipeg's defense, Josh Morrissey, one of the best defensemen in the league, to Winnipeg's defense as a whole, congratulations. That was a clinic. And then their offense, you had Adam Lowry score 2 goals. Granted, one was an empty netter, and then another was on a power play at the very tail end of the game. Luc Dubois played great. You had Blake Wheeler have a 3-point night. This Jets team is going to surprise people. Now, I'm pretty sure on my bracket challenge, I'm 90% sure I put down Vegas at 5.
You could still change it.
So, listen, I'm not changing it. That's fake. That's fake to change it. You shouldn't be able to change. Vegas at 5 is on there, but I'm going to change my opinion on air. I'm still thinking Vegas can get the job done. They just had a bad night. I mean, if the Jets defense do that every day, yikes. But give me Vegas in 6.
I agree. Vegas in 5 was my initial prediction, but I'm going Vegas.
The one's already gone.
Yeah.
So unless they win 4 straight games,
it's possible.
Then it's possible, but yikes.
The way Winnipeg played in this game, it seemed like they heard all of the noise. They heard all of the haters out there saying that they had no chance in this series, that they were going to be a potential sweep. They're on potential.
Well,
sweep
that's already
launch.
gone.
That's already gone, and it looked like they came out here to try to make a statement.
They didn't even play a little bit better. They killed them, man. They dominated them in that game.
And my only question is this going to be sustainable?
Well,
I don't think so. I think Vegas,
even if it's not sustainable, if they can sustain even 3/4 of that effort, they still would definitely win games.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I'm looking at the stats now. Vegas had 65 hits in this game. Winnipeg had 51. That's actually absurd.
100 hits in a game.
Over 100 hits total in a game. I know it's playoffs, but damn.
I think Vegas, their talent's going to end up winning out. I think they're going to win the series in 6, like you guys said. But now
that was impressive for sure. That was impressive.
Instead of us all in the hockey community overlooking Winnipeg, now we actually have to take them seriously as a team that they could very
Listen, man,
well Vegas.
I did say all year long they were a good team. And they're a good team. They are a good team.
You did say that. Vegas had 2 shots in the third period.
That's bad.
That's not going to cut it. You're down 2-1, and that's what you do in the third period.
Winnipeg scored more goals in the third than Vegas got shots on goal.
That's wild.
Yeah, talk about a team that needs the first goal tomorrow.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Devils do as well, but both honestly, you could compare these games, Devils, Rangers, to Jets, Knights.
You could.
Both Jets and Rangers locked down defensively, 5-1 time final. I don't know, and then Devils and Knights need the first goal tomorrow.
Really, really quickly. How about my Seattle Kraken in a Western
We'll
Conference?
get right into that
You're,
one.
you're Seattle Kraken. I
about it?
missed a lot.
All right, ready?
How about it?
Last one. Kraken Avs. All right. Philip Grubauer against his former team plays like his old self. 34 save game. Ellie Tolvanen got that first goal. But then, here comes Colorado. Nathan McKinnon rips one on net, and his good old friend Mikko Rantanen over there, one of the best goal scorers as a winger, gets a tip goal, and then we're tied up. Second period, Alex Wenberg, former Florida Panther right there. That's my guy. He played center, and he gets a goal to go off a nice, sweet wrist shot. Last period, Morgan Geekie scores the final goal. Philip Grubauer, insane game. And defensively, both teams, good third period defense by Colorado, but they still scored a goal. So that's even worse. Like, you outshoot a team 14-5, and you don't even score if the other team does. Boys, get into this one. I had Colorado in 6 in this one, and honestly, I'm still feeling Colorado taking it, but just I'll keep it. I'll keep it where it is. Colorado in 6, staying where it is. What are your thoughts on this first game of this series?
It just solidified everything that I thought about the Seattle Kraken.
Which is?
They're the best 5-on-5 team in the league. Respectfully, they have the most 5-on-5 goals in the league. They're top 10 in expected goals percentages this year. They're second in 5v5 goal differential, and they're the 10th least penalized team in their league. What does that tell you? They don't need the power play to be efficient. They don't get in the box, and they play good, sound, disciplined offense.
And when their goaltending's great,
They're-
like Grubauer was yesterday,
they're
they
almost
could win. They
unbelievable.
could win a Stanley Cup if they bring it all together.
And like when they came into the league, they were the island of misfit toys. They were
Absolutely.
They were built of players that teams did not want. They drafted well over the last couple years.
It's only their second season, right?
Yep.
In the league? That's what
And
I
they
thought.
put themselves right in this position. Would it shock me if they marched themselves all the way to the cup? No. Not at all. I had the Kraken in 5 for a reason, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, man. So
That's not
Really?
Didn't you say that like a month ago?
Yeah.
The Avalanche are winning the cup.
Yeah, I was about to say
he
it.
contradicted
I was
himself
about to
big
say
time.
it. I was
There's
about to
no
say it.
way.
I had if you would have asked me this question a month ago, I would have said the Avalanche would win the cup.
All right, so now I need to know what changed.
What changed?
Like
What I value in a Stanley Cup with a team is the ability to create without the power play.
Yeah, that's a fair point there. If you're a good
understand.
5-on-5 team,
I value it.
I value that, yeah.
Also, we're talking about.
'Cause
I value teams
look,
that don't put themselves in
There's no
down
3-on-3
man.
overtime in this in the playoffs.
And I value teams that don't put themselves down a man.
Fair enough, but
Both
I
those
mean,
teams
we're
do
talking
it.
about this
And
Colorado Avalanche.
This is also
Stanley
a team
Cup
in
champs.
Seattle. I'm going to be willing to expose myself.
Oh, yes.
At-
Everybody
before-
tune in
before
now.
the All-Star break, I was not about this team either.
I know you weren't.
And before the All-Star team, I was not even buying them as a playoff team. But
That's
they just
wild.
they just flipped the switch. They built on their play, got even better, and now I'm all in.
Avalanche are winning the next 4 games.
You're pulling
Avs in 5. Avs in 5.
You're
Yep.
pulling an Edmonton on me.
Yeah.
Woo! Right there. Yo, how many times did we hear woo a couple days ago? Just once?
Not a lot tonight.
Not a lot tonight.
Last night.
I mean, we heard it on Devils Fanatics TikTok. We heard one.
Yeah, we heard one.
I don't know if we heard
Well,
any more. But
tonight-
we heard one.
We got all the game
Yeah.
2s from the first set of games. Carolina Islanders, game 2, 7
pick 'em.
o'clock. Carolina again. Take the W.
Give me the Islanders.
Ooh, there we go.
I'm taking Islanders.
All right, Florida, Boston. Patrice Bergeron's out again. Give me Boston. Nah. Sam Bennett's back. Give me the Cats.
Boston.
Give me Boston.
Sam Bennett's back. Give me the Cats. All right, 9:30. Minnesota, Dallas. Dallas gets their second win. First win. My mistake. First win. Dallas gets their first win.
Minnesota.
Give me
Up
the
2-0.
Wild.
Up 2-0. Okay. Final series. We got L.A. Edmonton here. Honestly, Edmonton ties it up.
I made my pick known
There,
already.
there's no way Edmonton's not tying this up.
Boys, we got 2 minutes left. Let's talk about breaking the street. I just want to let everyone know we were phenomenal last Wednesday night. Talk about how good we are right now. 12-1 victory over AXP.
Shout out AXP though. All those
Great
guys were
teammates,
cool.
great
Yeah, they
game.
were
man.
really
They were
cool.
all cool.
Class act.
Terrible.
Great
hockey,
players.
Very cool.
Hey, listen.
Terrible
Alex
hockey.
Daly dropped like a 5-point night. He had 3 goals. Justin Brady. I played 2 positions. I played defense, and then we were up by so much. I played forward, and I got 2 assists on back-to-back in one shift.
All I hear, Connor.
Oh.
Let me play for you. Let me play wing.
No. So so here's what happened. We needed a 5th person on the. I gotta say ice on the street, and I'm just like, can I go play forward, guys? And then I was like, yes. And off the draw, we scored somehow. I don't even remember that goal, honestly. Second one, I get the ball. There's the defensemen were just not playing defense at this point, so we have a 3-on-1 off the rush, and I'm like, yo, Justin, here you go. And he was able to score. You had a hat trick, right?
I had 2 goals, 2
Oh,
assists.
2 goals. We had like 3 hat tricks on at least 2 hat tricks. Daniel had a hat trick.
And
Alex had a hat
Alex.
trick. We had 12 goals, and we're the 5 seed in the playoffs. We're going up against quote unquote the Mother Puckers on Sunday, and we're gonna win. We're going to the second round. We're gonna win a playoff game.
We are going to win a playoff game.
We're winning. Yeah.
9 o'clock in the multi-purpose courts. Be there, show out if you want to. But be there, show out for breaking the streak.
Breaking the streak.
go.
We're taking it all the way.
Yeah.
We're taking it
And
all
then
the
we're going
way.
to get revenge on Kappa's
And then Kappa is the 1 seed, and best believe they better win. They better beat Sig Pie.
we want Kappa
And
We
we
want
want
them.
Kappa Sig. 12 seconds left here. Boys, fantastic show. We are coming for vengeance in the playoffs. You have been listening to Breaking the Ice here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I'm your host, Connor Cupen. I have AJ Chasan and Justin Brady with me. Boys, say goodbye to the beautiful show, and we will be back next week for more playoff hockey coverage.
Whoa.
Devils in 6.
Hey.
This has been Breaking the Ice, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.